Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome back to my game of Morkin. This is a solo fantasy RPG. All you need is the book and some downloadable files like the character sheet map that you can get from the website. I'll put the website in the video description below. You will need some dice, some basic gaming dice, and possibly a journal to keep track of where you're going. In the last episode, which was day 1, I ended up right here in the center of this forest of shadows, and that is where day 1 ended. So today we're going to do day 2, and this is a 30-day adventure. So we're going to go back. If you didn't watch that first video, you probably want to go watch it, but I'll go over this a few more times, and then I'm just going to start playing the game without really explaining what I'm doing. So I'm going to start on the flow page, which describes the order of actions that you're going to take. And the first thing you do every time is you check the day's weather. And that roll will determine what happens. It is a D10, which is right here. I rolled a 7. A 7 is rain, but it says no effects. So no penalties. Nothing good, but no effects. All right, after the weather, we check group conditions. Now, I now have an ally with me. He's called the Lord of the Shadows. I did find out where his stats are, but we have nothing. We are not hungry, exhausted, poisoned, or bleeding. So that's a negative. Now, the ice fear level has not changed because we're still, it goes, I think it's day 10 is the last of ice. It goes 1 to 3, and we're still on 1. And then we start the quarter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down morning, afternoon, evening, night. Morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Now, there are some some documents you can download from the website and print out that will allow you to track this stuff. I'm just doing it in a journal format because I think it's just easier for me. All right, so knowing we're in the forest, we just did a camp. We need to look and see where do we want to go, because you're going to get to do one action per day. I'm sorry, per quarter. The day is broken into 4 quarters. So for the morning, we wake up. We are right here. Now, I want to try to take this path. It could change. Circumstances could change. But right now, I'm heading north, and because I'm traveling in the forest, I can travel 2 hexes per quarter. And there are some ruins of Ajmar and Keep of Dodruk. I'm going to aim for the ruins. I think that's a dungeon. Like, I could go and maybe, I don't know, find something. So to get there, I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to travel 4 hexes. And I'll be coming out of the forest and on plains. But again, movement in plains is still a maximum. I don't have a horse. So it's still 2 hexes per day. So this first morning, we are going to do a travel action. There are a whole bunch of actions you can do. You can travel, camp, fish, forage, hunt, rest, those kind of things. And I am going to, I want to do a travel today. So I'm going to turn to the travel page. It says, if you're exhausted, fatigue higher than max fatigue. Now in that, let me go ahead and explain how that works. Last video, I got up to 3 or 4 fatigue. My max fatigue is 10. That was defined in the character creation. So I was not even close to that. But when you get up to max fatigue, you can't travel. You have to do a rest action. But because I'm not fatigued, I can do this. So the travel distance is number of hexes in a quarter of the day. We are traveling in forest, and we're walking. So it's 2 hexes per quarter. And we're not going through any already explored hexes, so we'll have to roll to see what happens there. But first, we're leaving a hex, so we have to do an orientation check. Now, in the day one, I had a bonus for my orientation because the weather was clear. Today it's rainy, so I don't get that bonus. And right now, my orientation is 60% accuracy. So what I will do is I will roll. It says you're in the plains. It's not clear. And terrain, yeah, not clear. So I'm not going to get any bonus today. Orientation, positive. Okay, so if the modifiers, whenever you wish to leave, you must see. If it's positive, orientation device cause, clear, okay. I get a plus 20 when traveling on planes. That will help. But I don't get the bonus for clear weather. All right, so right now I'm in the forest and I'm going to travel 1 hex. So I need to roll, it's plus 20, so I'm just doing a 60 or less. And I rolled a 16. Okay, so I did it. A 16 will allow me to move north, and I need to move 1 more, so I need to do another. Now, I didn't fail the check, so I don't have to roll for consequences. I didn't do a critical success, a roll of less than 5, and I didn't fumble the orientation roll. So, don't have to worry about that. When you travel to a new hex, you need to add a fatigue depending on terrain. Plains and forests are 1. So my fatigue is plus 1 fatigue because I traveled from 1 hex to another. I'm going to do it again. When you enter a new hex, even if you explored it, you need to determine. Doom Dark Force Encounter. Ice Sphere is 1, so no encounter. And I'm not on a site. And that's it. Travel's pretty fast and pretty easy. Let's do another travel for the afternoon. Oh, hold on. No. I get to do 2 so we'll do another one. I need to roll below 60, and I got a 39. So once again, I've got a plus 1 fatigue because I'm traveling into a new one, and now I'm out of the forest. So the next 2 moves are on plains, and I will get a plus 20, so I'll be rolling less than 80 for orientation. But once again, I was successful. I got the fatigue. The ice sphere level is 1, so there's no Doom Dark encounter. When Morkin enters any hex surrounding a dark citadel or dark keep, this is a ruin, so it's not. So I don't have to worry about that. It's sort of like when you get too close to a dark, it does risk an encounter. So because I didn't do that, I am now at plus 1 fatigue, and I have gone for my morning quarter. So let's keep traveling. I'm in the plains now, so I'm going to do another. This was travel forest. Now I'm traveling in the plains. And I only need to move 2 more to get to the Rune of Ajamar. So let's go ahead and try to get there. And that is, what is that? 10, 20, that must be 00. Ooh, that is, I'm trying to remember, 10, 60, 90, and then the skull is 00. Well, I can't roll 105, so that's a critical. That is a 005. Awesome, because the highest you can roll is 99, 00 to 99, and I rolled a 5. Now it says if you achieve a critical success, which I did, you avoid gaining any fatigue. Woohoo! All right, so no fatigue on that, and now I've got one more hex movement. And I need to roll an 80, it was 60 plus 20, 80 or less. And I rolled a 71. And that one will get me a plus 1 fatigue. And we have now arrived at the Ruin of Ajamar. Ruin of Ajamar. We arrived. All right, we're at a ruin, and we've only got one more thing to do before we'll have to do a camping. So, for this, I am doing a, let's see, what was it? Halls, Caverns, and Ruins. Here we go, page 49. When you reach a cavern or ruin, you may roll on the Seek table for that location to explore it and determine a quest. If you roll a duplicate quest, you may roll again. Exploring the location will consume the entire quarter of a day during which you used the Seek action. Now, that'll have to be the evening because I've already done my one action, travel, so it'll have to be on this one. So follow the sequences below as these locations are highly dangerous and may contain unique enemies. The treasures and rewards can be substantial. So, caverns and ruins may be dark. Morkin, being half-fae, can see in the dark. As your possible companions are fae, skullrent, and dragons, they can also see. Mounts must be left outside. 54 has my companion, and he is fae, so he can see in the dark. That's good. Use the special ruin sheet to sketch the layout of the ruin or cavern as you explore it following the rules. Well, let's go ahead and do this. I've never done this before, so let's try this. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to do a Seek action. And it says you may roll on the Seek table. So we'll go back to the tables. And these are in alphabetical order, so I'll look for the Seek. Seek tables. You roll a d10, and I am in a... I'm not in a tower, citadel, keep, village. Hold on. For that specific location to explore it. Maybe there's one for caverns and ruins. Let's see. Maybe there is. Well, I'm not seeing it. Hinge, Leith, Lake, Snowhall. Not in one of those. I'm in a ruin. Okay, maybe I missed something. Hold on. Let's take a look again. Seek tables for tower, citadel, keep. Is there another Seek table? When you reach a cavern, you roll in the Seek table for that specific location to explore it and determine a quest. If you roll... Okay, hold on. A quest. That's interesting. Oh, here we go. Ruin. Okay. So for the ruin, it looks like I'm rolling 2d6, a d66. So green will be first digit, red will be low digit. A 2-3. And a 2-3 corresponds to quest 38. So let's go look at what that quest is. Quests are on page 136. So I'll turn to 38 and read it. Quest 38, The Stolen Heirloom. The ruin lies half buried in snow, its ancient stonework cracked and worn by time. Twisted roots and frosts have claimed much of the structure, while the entrance gapes like a dark wound in the earth. Jagged shadows stretch across the ground, cast by the faint light of torches flickering within, hinting at the presence of its new, unwelcome inhabitants. So there's torches, that's good. As you traverse a snow-covered path, you encounter a grieving villager by the entrance to the ruin. They explain that Skullcrin raiders recently attacked their home, stealing a treasured family heirloom, a pendant said to bring good fortune to their family for generations. The Skullcrins fled into the ruin, taking the pendant with them. The villager pleads with Morkin to retrieve the heirloom before it is lost forever in the hands of the Skullcrins. The inhabitants are Skullcrins. Quest objective: find and retrieve the pendant carried by a Skullcrin hunter. Defeat the Skullcrin hunter in the quest room to recover the heirloom. Reward: 10 silver coins, an amulet of stealth, plus 10 to stealth when worn, and 10 experience points. All right, so I'm going to put page number on here, page 150. And the goal is to, in the quest room, defeat a Skullcrin hunter. Skullcrin hunter. All right, so kill the Skullcrin hunter. All right, so let's go back to the ruin section. Now, in the paperwork that comes with this game, there is a document right here. Here it is. It is a gridded. It looks like it's maybe a 30 by 30 or 20 by 20. Let me see. I'll need my character sheet for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 this way. It looks by 30 by this way. So it's just it's almost square, but 4 more would be 30. All right. So use the special ruins to sketch out the layer of the ruins or caverns as you explore it. So you're supposed to draw it on here. I only have one copy of this, so it's going to be interesting. I may have to take a break for a second and make a copy of this. The quest room is where your quest objective is located, which may include finding a lost item, rescuing someone, defeating an enemy, blah, blah, blah. As you explore the cavern or ruin, examine each room by rolling a d66 on the ruin and cavern exploration table. If you roll between 6-1 and 6-6, you discover the quest room, which contains the specified objective. If the objective is an item, add it to your backpack. If you explore all rooms without rolling a 61 or 66, assume the quest room is the final room. Once you discover it, treat it as the final room. Any remaining unexplored rooms are ignored. Upon leaving the cavern or ruin after reaching the quest, you complete the quest and receive the reward. However, if you leave the dungeon without completing it, the quest is considered failed, and you cannot attempt to seek it again in the same ruin or cavern. Number of doors and passages. When you enter a new room and determine the number of doors, this counts in addition to the one this is in addition to the one you used to enter. Secret rooms do not have additional doors. An exception to this includes the Ruin of Tumog, the Ruin of Death, and the Cavern of Kor. Those aren't mine. All right. So, I need to get me a grid here. And fortunately, I'm going to pause the camera real quick, and I will be right back. I have actually something to do this. All right, I have this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It's a little smaller, but hey, work with what you have. And the next time I do this, I'll have a larger grid sheet. So I have the smaller one. Now, what's interesting about this grid sheet is it has a lot of random tables that you'll roll on that will define the area. So let's give this a shot. So it says, on arrival, use the seek action and roll a d66 on the seek table to determine the quest. Did that. Entrance. The entrance is the first chamber and contains nothing. You are free to design its shape as you wish. Let your creativity flow. Roll a d6 to determine the number of passages. Okay, oh, actually, this is cool. This is actually on this actual sheet here, so I don't have to read the book. I can just follow it. All right, so So entrance, D6. So we'll just draw a small room here, and I'll label it entrance. Roll a D6 for number of doors. Okay. D6 for layout, entrance, and then here's the number you roll to see how many doors. I rolled a 6, which is 3 doors. 1 is a secret. So we'll put a secret door here, a real door here, and a real door here. All right, check and open doors. Secret door is a perception skill needed. Okay, so maybe I do need to look at this. Draw the entrance at the bottom of the sheet. When entering a new chamber, you may design its shape as you like. But this has a suggestion of square, square, circular, free, rectangle, rectangle. So for new rooms, there's different, and also exits here. All right. So there are options for doors. You can open the door, unlocked but stuck, locked door, locked and trapped. So you can roll for a door. So this is going to be interesting to play. When entering a new chamber, you design its shape, then roll a d6 to determine the number of exits. On the ruin and cavern sheet, sketch a new room. Room description. The step is optional, but if you want to add variety to your exploration, you can find several tables in the ruin and cavern sheet. Okay, so there are things here that I can do. The barracks, the atmosphere, the odor, things like that. This is cool. Keep exploring to find the quest room. Okay, all right. So let's try this. We'll just go around. Now, it says to find the secret door, I have to make a roll, perception skill. So let's do it. So I search the room. My perception skill, perception is my intelligence, which is 40. So I'm trying to roll below 40. And I got a 74. So the secret door is not found. I do not find it. So let's try this first door. And there's a thing here. It'll tell me whether it's open or locked. 4, it is locked. So I'll put a lock here. We try the other door. 2, open. So this is open. So I'm just going to write an O and an L. For a locked door, it says you can do might or lock picking. Might plus 10 each new attempt, but roll a d10. On a 1 or 2, there's an encounter. So you make noise. So let's go through the open door. So through the open door, you know what? Let's do this. On this other day 2 here, I'm gonna document this. So the entrance room, because this will help for my journal entry. The entrance room, what type is it? Oh, that's a D10. Hold on. It is a library. Interesting. Actually, no, for the entrance, you don't do this. We'll just do atmosphere. 50. There's a rotting corpse here. And the odor is sewage stench. All right. So, one locked door and one unlocked door. Let's go through the locked one. For that, we roll for a new room. 3, it's a circular room. So when I go through it, we'll just draw a hall. I don't know if I'm supposed to add hallways or not, but let's just draw a short hallway, and we'll do a circular room. And how many exits? No exits. Okay, well, this is going to be a small dungeon. Well, there's still a locked door that I can go down here. If I can't pick the lock, I'll have to break it down. All right. No doors. Interesting. All right. If you want to have variety, explore the room. So here you roll on Ruin and Cavern Exploration Table, which is on page. I should probably put a new tag for this one. So let's do this. Ruin and Cavern Encounter Table. It's on page 259. Ruin and Cavern Exploration Table. Now that's an encounter. Here's the exploration table. So it's 2d6, or it's d66, green is high. That is a 2-4. All right, I'm going to write that in here. This is room number 2. And for room number 2, I rolled a 2-4, which is... It says, from 11 to 2-6, there is an encounter. Roll on the encounter table. Okay, so you come back to page 259. You roll a d6 for the encounter. And we are in a... Hold on. How do you know what type it is? Well, it says Doomdark, Skullcrins, Ice Trolls, Wolves, Spiders, Bandits, Beasts. I assume that because this is a Skullcrin one, that I'll roll here. All right, let's try it. A 5. I rolled a 5, which is a Skullcrin and a Skullcrin Herb Master. So there's a Skullcrin and a Skullcrin Herb Master. Now there is a bestiary in this book where you can get their stats. Upon arriving, okay, entrance, first chamber, roll d6, determine doors. Okay, just looking one more time. Select the room you want to move into. The secret door remains hidden. I found the door, went through it, went into the new room, rolled the encounter, or rolled the encounter, and then rolled the encounter table. And there is an encounter. Okay, so if there's an encounter, all right. So let me go ahead and write in my companion here. My companion is the Lord of Shadows. His HP, his hit points is 35. Melee is +3. Defense +2. Damage +1. Perception +2. He's got +10 foraging skill. And he adds +6 rations. And by the way, I need to remember to reduce my rations. Okay. So, since there's a Skullcrin and a Skullcrin Herbmaster, I believe we go to combat. During your adventure, you have the opportunity to recruit companions, blah, blah, blah. Keep the points in mind. Okay, companion recruitment. To recruit a companion. Oh, wait a minute. But it said he joined me, so I don't know if I had to recruit him. Perform an approach action. Which consumes a quarter of the day. I guess maybe I didn't do this, but I think it said the Lord of Shadows joins you. I will go back and check on that. But apparently on page 54, when you encounter a possible companion, you have to roll to see if they join you. You roll a d6 on a 1, they're too scared. That's when the ice sphere is 1. On any other result, they agree to join your party. Okay. So they consume rations daily. Health management, fatigue. Fatigue is tracked only for Morkins. Companions do not contribute to okay. All right, so companions are there, and then combat. Combat is melee, close range, and without cover. Combatants alternate turns until one flees or is defeated. When you encounter one or more enemies, and it is stated that they attack you or decide to attack, combat ensues. Follow the rules. I believe they're going to attack me. I mean, that was the whole point. All right. This is interesting. So there is I've read this, but I probably need to read it again. Because there's initiative, combat order, action points, attacking, defending. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. So here's what I'm going to do. I keep these videos at 30 minutes. So in the next video, I will cover the combat between the Skullcrin and Skullcrin Herbmaster. It may take the whole episode. I just don't know yet. But I will be back within a week with the next episode, okay? All right, everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me on this game of Morkin. Day 2 is almost done, but I'm still in the ruins, and I'm getting ready to have combat in the next episode. I hope you'll join me then. All right, everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.